Well, that was Kamala Harris speaking there on CNN. Let's speak live on the programme to Marth Jenkins, who's the first Vice President of the National Federation of Republican Women. She joins us live on the programme, and we're very grateful for your time. So what did you make of that interview?
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm very happy to share some of my thoughts about the interview. First of all, I don't believe that the American public really learned anything last night. There were a few pointed questions that specifically asked her what her policies were and why she had changed. But in all honesty, she didn't really answer them. She tended to deflect. You made the quote about her saying that her values hadn't changed, but some are saying that her policies are changing. We don't really know. She still has a website that doesn't list a single policy position. She did defend Joe Biden, and she defended her work as vice president and the administration of Joe Biden. So I guess the only thing that we can say that we have any reason to believe is that she will continue what the Biden administration has been doing.
You talked there of policy position changes. That's politics, isn't it? You only had to listen to Donald Trump in the last 24 hours. His position on IVF, his position on abortion. He's walked back what he previously said. He's now saying he will support abortion up to 24 weeks in that proposition being put forward in Florida. His position on TikTok and things like that. Those changed over the months. That is the reality of what happens in politics sometimes, isn't it?
Kamala Harris has not told us still exactly what her policies really are. She speaks in very broad generalities, for instance, saying that she wants to strengthen the middle class. Well, the middle class is strong. The economy is what's weak. So she didn't tell us what she would do to help inflation, which at this point, I looked it up yesterday, that since January of 2021, inflation is 20.2%. And some things are even higher, and those are the things that Americans need the most.
Sure, but it has come down recently.
Gasoline.
Let me ask you about...
No, the prices have not come down. The rate of inflation has slowed, but the prices themselves are at 20% or more above where they were in January of 2021.
OK, let me ask you about Donald Trump's campaign. Isn't the truth that he is struggling to know how to attack Kamala Harris? We've had the attacks around Comrade Kamala. We've had Laughing Kamala. He's deliberately got her name wrong. We've had those crude posts or reposts, the sexist posts in the last 2 days. We've seen the bust up with veterans after that publicity stunt at Arlington. Isn't that the truth of this campaign, is that Donald Trump doesn't really know still yet how to take on this new Democratic candidate?
No, I don't agree with that at all. Donald Trump has consistently said different things at different times to different audiences in different ways, simply because he understands that people are different. I definitely do not agree with your premise right there.
Do you have, as a party, a problem with women now? When you look at some of the polling, there was a Fox News poll that had Donald Trump trailing in a lot of those Sunbelt states. You had him trailing on issues like abortion by 19 points. Everyone knows those comments from J.D. Vance. How much of a problem is that for your demographic? Because Donald Trump only yesterday saying now that the Fox News polls were rigged.
Well, I think you're assuming that women tend to be one-issue voters, and I don't agree with that. The things that affect women in their daily lives are where the Biden administration and the Biden-Harris administration have failed. They failed on securing the border. They failed on stopping inflation. They have failed in the realm of crime. People don't feel safe. A lot of the border situation has led to the rise in crime because we have criminals crossing our borders, people who committed crimes in their native countries. They're coming here and they're still committing crimes.
And I'm
We've
sure
had
all
some
of that we're
terrible
going to see.
murders and rapes.
I'm
But
sure all
women
of that we're
care
going to
about
see
those
in the
issues
debate
too.
on September the 10th. Just a quick final thought. How do you explain, though, the bounce that Kamala Harris has had in the polls in those crucial swing states and just in terms of the national polling, which puts her ahead now of Donald Trump?
Well, I think the bounce is disappearing, and what bounce was there was simply because Democrats were realizing that, oh, we don't have to try to prop up Joe Biden anymore. So I don't think that that bounce is something that's going to be maintained. I believe it's already turning.
Martha Jenkins, we are grateful for your time. Thanks for coming on and speaking to us here on BBC News. We're very grateful.